Yeah, this is 5 months with the Blade Z Max from ZTE. This phone doesn't have wireless charging. It doesn't have waterproofing, all those things, but it also doesn't carry that hefty price tag. Heck, it doesn't even have 3 or 4 gigs of RAM. It has 2 gigs of RAM. But with that, I'll say this phone has been absolutely great and a joy to use. It has a 6-inch display coming in at 1080p, 16 megapixel camera on the rear with a secondary, which I believe is like 2 megapixels or something like that. Um, let's check the cameras. Yep, I was right, 2 megapixel. But on the front, you get an 8 megapixel. Now, I do have a tempered glass on here, and I broke it at the top. I broke it at the bottom on both sides. I've dropped this phone multiple times face down, and the tempered glass took the blunt force of that. But I didn't take it off yet because it's not cracked in the middle. And I also have a bigger case that I can put back on here. Shout out to Zizo. But yeah, the ZTE Blade Z Max, I think I could recommend this phone for someone like this. This is going to sound crazy. Now, you might gonna say, Jay, no, you need to recommend a Pixel or something like that. But no. If a person is on iOS or Windows or any other platform and they want to try out Android and they're okay with, depending on what size phone they want, because there's a smaller version of this phone. It's called the Blade X, I believe it's called. It looks exactly like this. It just feels a little different. And the back is a little different. But it's pretty much the same thing. It's on Cricket Wireless, and I do have it, so I've reviewed that already. But however, this phone right here is a good stepping stone for a person who wants to try out Android. And just in case they don't like it too much, they can go back to whatever they want. Now, and I say that because this phone is pretty much a stock experience, and that's about how it is. ZTE adds on a FM radio, which could be useful. This would be a good intro to someone who is trying to try Android out for a while. But I like this phone, man. I don't have any complaints. I've been using this, and I do use this, believe it or not. It stays in rotation daily. And some people might not believe that, but it's true. LTE service on T-Mobile and Cricket / AT&T is absolutely great because that's where I use it at. Predominantly, I use it on Cricket though. And Cricket service is great where I live at. So this phone has been just a joy to use. Now, it's not all roses. All right, so let me be clear here. It does have 2 gigs of RAM, and I think I said in my review a long time ago, it definitely needs at least 3 gigs of RAM because it's not that the phone gets bogged down, it's just that the resources go away. I'm saying it in a nice way, right? It does get a little bogged down because it uses up all the resources, and then you don't have, sometimes you don't have enough to free flow through the device. So you just have to go in and close them out, and then go into your clear your cache partition as well if you want to on certain apps. And then you're back running at full throttle. Yeah. So, other than that, I mean, the 2 gigs of RAM might be an issue. Coupled with the Snapdragon 435, the Snapdragon 435 is a good processor, but it's not this powerhouse processor that, and I can see the difference between using a 435 and a 625 with longevity because I have both types of processors here, and the 625 obviously chugs along at a more steady rate with longer use. Now this definitely is a more battery efficient, I would say, or just as battery efficient. It's hard to compare because this has a 4080 milliamp hour battery and it's pushing a 6-inch 1080p display, but it still chugs along for at least 4 days or so. And it's really good. You get great screen on time. You get great standby time. This phone sips. It really sips overnight when you have it just sitting on LTE or just sitting, overnight with your notifications going. It sips. Mine doesn't pull much battery. And I have about 115 apps. I don't know. How many apps? Where are my apps? I got 101 apps. So yeah. It chugs along. It chugs along and it does very good. So, with the phone, at this point, I think what I'm starting to get into, I'm getting back into my, I don't really want to carry a big phone. We go through phases. And I use this phone a lot for media content. A downside to this, again, but ZTE offers another option. I think it's called the Blade X. Let me verify that for you. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to verify it right here in this video. Yes, it's called the Blade X, and I have it down here. I guess the least I could do is just get it right. Let's see here. Where's my Blade X? Where's my Blade X? Blade X is right here. This is kind of the other version, which you could possibly grab if you didn't want to grab this bigger version. Do you see what you see the resemblance here? See the resemblance? There's a lot of pluses to grabbing this one because it has a bottom firing speaker and it's a lot smaller in size. But you kind of get that same feel and look. These feel exactly the same. Even though this one is actually a rubbery grip, this is straight plastic. This feels identical. So the Blade Z Max is a good phone. I don't have any issues with it. At this point, 5 months later, it's still chugging along. It's still doing good. And I don't think it's a phone that I wouldn't recommend because it's, what, $100? And I think right now, after recording this video in December, you can actually grab this free with a port-in. So if you switch companies, I believe they're giving this away free. Don't quote me on that. Go check for yourself. But this is an awesome phone. Battery life still holds a full charge at 100%. And I know it's only 5 months in, but some phones can start to die off kind of early. This one is not, though. It's doing really good. No complaints with the battery. The screen is still absolutely gorgeous. I change the wallpapers up every now and then to refresh. With a phone, you have to take the case on, take the case off, change the wallpaper, do things to keep yourself entertained. I even also put Nova Launch on here sometimes, you know, just to, because Nova Launcher actually makes this phone run a lot smoother. But it already runs kind of smooth here with the stock launcher. And this is the stock launcher. I mean, ZTE has pretty much a stock app set up here, a stock OS for their device. So 5 months in with the Blade Z Max, and I think I'm still chugging right along just fine. I don't think you'll have a problem with it, and ZTE offers so many options. They've even got like a little baby brother that you possibly could grab if you think this one might be a little too big. There are some different offsets and specs, but I think you'll be fine. So it's your man Jay Will, 5 months with the Blade Z Max. It's been awesome. This is one of my media content devices, and I really love it. See you in the next video. Take care.